Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Eleshia Show. I'm really happy to have Meryl here with me, and we're going to just dive into our conversation. Meryl, thank you so much for being on my virtual couch. Could you tell the listeners who you are and what you do?
Yes, thank you for having me. So, I'm a transformational healer and coach, and I help women to feel confident and safe to really stand in their power and express themselves. So, really feeling confident to ask for what they want, go for their goals, shift their relationships. Maybe they're looking for better communication, and that's personal relationships and professional relationships. They're getting their needs met. And there is a way that they really hold back or stay small. So I really help them to reclaim their all the selves, right? Self-worth, self-trust, self-esteem, self-love, self-confidence, all by finding why they hold back, where
Mm,
they learned that they should, how they learned that they should, and finding the root cause of that and then healing it for good so that they have the permanent change of staying anchored in to what they want to reclaim, all the selves, right? That's really what I do for women.
yeah, that really just hit me when you said learning how they sometimes learn. And I'm like, wow, learned behavior is a powerful thing, isn't it? Really. So just thinking about some of the things that I've learned to do and just to be able to keep myself safe. And then now you're asking me to open up to reclaim what I really want. So that was really interesting to me that it kind of just hit me and I was like, whoa.
A lot of times we know these things or we're aware of these things. We're aware of our past and the traumas that have happened, whether small or big. It could be critical mom, or it could be, serious abuse, mental abuse, or sexual abuse. But all of it is like a trauma capsule inside our body. So I help my clients to break the trauma capsule down and really rewire and reprogram what's in there. And that's in your subconscious. So I help my client, I guide them through that so that they have the breakthroughs that they really want. Most of my clients are aware of what's happening now. They're aware of their past, but they haven't really connected all the dots. I was a very smart, educated woman and had a successful business for 30 years, but I
Mm-hmm.
still didn't realize these things. And it's just like you get to the point where you're ready and open to hear it in the way you need to hear it. Just
Yeah.
like you said, oh, the learned be, the where I learned that. And then you have that, oh, right, that aha
Yes,
moment.
exactly.
And then you're like, wow, okay.
So tell us how you do this. What does your work involve?
It's all very exciting and fascinating. I'll just say
Yes.
that. So, because I was on my own self healing journey my whole life, it led me to the coaching industry
Mhm.
and to what's called EFT tapping, also known as emotional freedom techniques. So, that is tapping on your Chinese energy meridian points, very similar to acupuncture, except we're not using needles, we're just using our fingertips. And tapping and breathing on the points is a fantastic tool. But the way that I help my clients use it is to put words and phrases to the tapping so that they personalize it and customize it to their own needs. And
Mhm.
that way they get faster results because we get to the root cause of where they learned all of this stuff holding them back much faster. So if you're following anything on YouTube or just kind of keeping things very general, it's kind of putting like a temporary band-aid on things. You really need to be working with a professional. I mean, I'd still do it myself in order to have the transformation that you want. I was led, my first coach did a lot of tapping, and I found it actually weird at first, I'll say.
Yes.
And I was having lunch with the group of women who I was taking the course with, and I was like, I don't get this tapping thing. I don't know. It's weird, and it's kind of making me a little anxious, and I'm just not really understand.
Mhm.
But I loved the coach, and I said, I'm going to follow her because I know I'm going to take a 6-month coaching course with her. So I better learn this stuff. And I
Mhm.
followed everything she did, and a lot of it was tapping. And then I was already watching Nick Ortner, and she was on the tapping summit with him. And then I was following Brad Yates on YouTube. And then I joined Gary Craig's website. He's the founder of EFT, although he didn't trademark it. He is the founder. So I'm a part of his membership, and I just immersed myself in everything I possibly could because I found that I was getting results
Hmm.
eventually, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, I just kept on the path and kept on the path until I had my own aha moment and said, oh, this stuff really does work. And then just immersed myself in all of it. And now I've done all three levels of training that you can before you would become a master trainer. I'm accredited in it through EFT International. Because I help people get to the root cause, I wanted to be educated enough and confident enough to be able to help people through trauma and ancestral healing and inner child healing. So I've done trainings in all three using tapping. And then I also do something called optimal EFT. And this is
Yes.
only from Gary Craig's website. He got a channel download, I believe, in the mid 90s and created this whole optimal EFT from that. And that is using your higher power and unconditional love in order to promote healing within. So it's like a guided meditation. Reframes that it's the same kind of detective work that I do, or I call it emotional archaeology. We're digging through the stuff and the muck and the messiness and your words and your feelings and your sensations and your thoughts and everything. We're holding on to all these little details that you tell me. And then I'm helping to guide you through and break through all of that. And it's the same process, whether we're tapping physically with it or not. So it's similar, you could say, to maybe receiving Reiki in a sense, but
Right.
we're talking through it a little bit though, because I'm guiding people through a meditation at the same time. So that is very, very powerful. And I just use my intuition in my sessions and I feel into what the client needs in the moment. Do they need to do a little tapping to maybe bring in more focus? Okay, let's start there. And then maybe we'll do some of the optimal work. I also have been studying law of attraction and manifestation for the last 3+ years. So, with my own coach. So I bring that into the mix. And I've created my own signature 5-step process called the emotional clearing method. And
Mhm.
the processes are: uncover where you are, where you learned the behavior, which I already mentioned, remove. So removing the emotional intensities to why you feel you don't matter, why you feel like you need to stay small, why you feel like it's not safe for you to express yourself. And then healing, right? The
Mm.
ancestral work, the inner child work, the trauma, all of that healing work. Then the rewire of the old patterns, the thoughts, and the sensations that stop you in your tracks and keep you in the same old behaviors that you don't want anymore, right? So we have to do that rewiring. That takes some consistent practice and co-creating together. Then the anchoring in is the 5th step. And that's more law of attraction and the forward thinking, right? I really believe, some coaches are only about the forward thinking and like forget about your past. But if
Mhm.
you're
Your
really still
past.
got that stuck in your subconscious, I don't
Exactly.
see how you can do that.
I would totally agree
Yeah,
because some of your past is holding you back from your
right.
future.
And what I'm teaching you is how to feel in control of all of it. So you're
Mhm.
not forgetting and suppressing your past, you're moving through it, you're healing through it. And that in turn slowly helps you to feel more empowered and more confident and trust yourself, listen to your intuition, all the things.
Mhm. How did you decide that this was going to be your next path? Because I feel like there's a story behind all of this
Mhm.
because it's powerful work you're doing now, Meryl.
Yeah. Like I said, it really was following my own journey and following the breadcrumbs. I just stayed, I'll say, somewhat open to surrounding myself with people that I admired.
Mhm.
That was a big thing that I always did. And I would always reach out when I was feeling like things are not changing for me. And, I don't
Yeah.
understand. And, when I was really struggling and frustrated and living in that survival mode and I couldn't see a way out, I would reach out to the people who I saw did. And I just kept on that self-development path. And then I got myself to a point where I said, okay, I need to surround myself with even more people that are like me. And I found a networking group. And I said, okay, I think in a year, I'm going to close. I had a nail salon for 30 years. So I think I'm going to close my salon. And I think I want to become a coach. What does that look like? What is my modality? Because Even in my salon, I was high end, I was different. I immersed myself in as much education as I possibly could. And I was always like 5 steps ahead than most in my area, I'll say. You can even say now, like long pointed nails and stilettos and things like that. People are wearing that now. I was wearing that 10 years ago when I still had my salon, you know? So it's the same thing. I want to be different. I don't want to be like everybody else. And I think that creative part of me, I'll say, was probably some of the help that led me to finding this. And I personally like to be a part of my healing. And those are the people that come to me. They want to work on themselves and be a part of their healing and not just receive. I mean, yes, I do take people through these guided meditations, and that is a way of receiving. But there is a constant co-creating that we're always doing. So I think finding this modality was just the right thing for me. And when I found that in 2017, in my last year of having my salon, and then I remember I closed my salon in 2018. I brought home many nail clients to my living room with my nail station and whatever products I had, because I sold some stuff, but I didn't really have a salon to sell. It was small. I only had one employee at the end. She took her clients and moved on to somewhere else. And I was just taking my clients, and then whoever didn't want to follow just kind of, went away. So after exactly 1 month of doing that, I fell and I broke my arm and I couldn't work.
Right.
I was also a yoga teacher for many years, and I was teaching a few yoga classes a week and meditation and all that. So I had no income pretty much because I couldn't do nails anymore. But that was another major sign the universe was telling me to move on already.
Yes.
Jump off the cliff, Meryl, and move on already. And I did. And the 6-month coaching program that I wanted to take with my first coach was the next 3 days after I broke my wrist. I hadn't signed up yet because I didn't think, I don't know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't afford it. I had all these excuses. I was reading this book. I don't remember the name of it, but it's by Jen Sincero.
You are a badass at making money.
By Jen Sincero.
Yes.
So anyway, I was reading that and got to a point. I was walking on the treadmill with my broken arm as best I could. Well, I probably wasn't pumping this arm, but as best I could, I was walking and reading this book and went, oh, this is what our program already started. And she's like, jump in, don't worry about it, send me your payment. This stuff is recorded and let's go.
Yes.
I was like, I'm in. And then that is really what majorly started to shift my energy, shift my stuff, and really immerse myself into what I'm saying I do now. So
it sounded like you already manifested it, especially as you had already decided to shut down your nail salon.
Yeah, I just was in the mindset of I need this income. I can't let go of it. And I'm going to keep it until I build this coaching business, which I thought was going to be this overnight success.
Yeah, because we all do. Because we all do.
Yeah, did not happen. So yeah, and I never went back to doing nails. I got rid of my nail station. I bought this beautiful hydraulic desk that I have because I always wanted to be able to stand in the salon. So I finally got like the desk that I really wanted, sit-stand desk.
And here you are.
And here I am. And now I moved about 1.5 years ago to live at the beach, which was another huge leap. It's about 1 hour and 15 minutes from where I used to live. And I had my best year ever. Pretty much fun. And I have an amazing group of girlfriends. We're totally like Sex in the City.
Yes.
Like, no joke. And it's just great.
And it's all because of the decisions you decided to make for yourself.
Yep.
For the investment of yourself.
Yeah. Well, and the consistent work. Every day is a daily practice of checking in with myself and what are my goals and what am I manifesting and how am I feeling about it? And, all of that.
Yeah. So do you tap every day?
Almost.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm not doing it for myself personally, I'm doing it with my clients. And you can absolutely have little borrowing benefits off to the side of what I'm working on. And more clarity can come in for me on something, or healing can absolutely happen. It keeps me calmer and managing everything. And something stressful comes in, it's like not that big of a deal.
Because that's your practice. But for somebody like me who doesn't practice, but I know, like, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, a carer. I'm going through a grieving process right now. And so my brain can get really scrambled sometimes.
Yeah.
And so would you say it would be easy to have a practice that I could do to still my brain and gain clarity?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where you can just, like, anyone who's a beginner with me,
Yes.
I just take them through tapping and breathing. Because when you tap on these points, it's the ends of your Chinese energy meridian points. And they do pertain to, like, I know this point here under the collarbone has to do with fear and anxiety. And I've done
Right.
a little bit of research on the other ones, but I'm not quite clear on them yet. It's not something that we're taught for our certifications and trainings and stuff, but I'm actually, just today, I got an email for continuing education in just that.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, so I signed up for that. It's like a 2 session thing happening in
Yeah.
March. So I'm really excited about that. So tapping and breathing, you want to start somewhere, because when you tap on these points, it's tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your automatic relaxation response. And that's why it works so quickly. So it can ground you, it can presence you, it can elevate your mood or just shift your mood. If you're feeling kind of low energy, it can increase your energy, and it brings in mental focus and clarity, and it can help you with procrastination. It can really shift a whole ton of stuff just by the tapping and breathing, because it does take time to learn how to add words.
Yes.
Everything. And the beautiful thing about it is that as you're processing through all of this, because you never want to suppress your emotions, and using this tool helps you to express them, really get it up and out so that you can move through them and heal them.
Yeah.
And you're doing it while you're loving and accepting yourself through the process. Because when we're adding the words into it, those are the words that we're saying, like, it's okay that I'm feeling this. I'm honoring I'm feeling this. I'm loving myself anyway. I acknowledge I feel this way, or this is just how it is. So there's always balancing statements to our words. Even though I'm feeling this, I'm choosing to feel this way, or
Yeah.
I'm open to feeling this way, or seeing it this way, or new perspectives, or whatever. So yeah, I'm happy to take you through something if you'd
Yeah. Let's do
like.
it. Like I was just waiting for you to ask, Meryl.
Okay, so we're going to start tapping on the outside of our hand, and below the pinky knuckle, like the outside of the pinky knuckle, and in between the wrist, right? And I'm just tapping there with my other fingers. I tap pretty gently. I tend to tap fast, but it's whatever feels right to you. And just, relax your arms and take a deep breath in. Let's just start here, in through your nose. And blow it out your mouth. And then I'm going to do full palm, top of my head, right? Not on the back, but towards the back, I'll say, towards the back of the top of the head, right? So I'm not on the back of the head. Same thing, deep breath in through the nose. And then blow it out your mouth. The breathing really helps to shift things faster. Now I'm going to do both pointers right inside my eyebrows, right where the eyebrows begin, just gently tapping there. And again, deep breath in. And exhaling it out. And then both fingers outside the eye. So I'm towards the bottom corner of my eye, right on the bone. Same deep breath in through your nose, making them longer, slower, smoother. And as you exhale, it's long and slow and smooth. Exhale, making it audible. And then under the eye, so I'm right on top of the cheekbone. You have the bone itself. So again, same thing. Inhale. Maybe there's a little pause at the top now. Right, and exhaling out. And then under the nose, you can do one. Sometimes I do both fingers. Just one hand here, I do. And again, deep breath in. And exhaling out. And then we're on the chin. So right where the chin goes in, under the lip there. Yeah, and inhale again. And exhale it out. And then under the collarbone, I like using both hands here. This is my favorite spot. You can also do the gentle fist right underneath. If you have the points of the bones of the collarbones themselves, and then you draw like a little V where they might touch, right? Your vagus nerve is here. So this is calming to your nervous system.
Oh, this is
Sometimes
nice.
I do this. You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do this because I tend to feel my stuff in my system, in my body, down the central channel from my chest to my solar plexus. So upper belly, and then in my chest a little bit here. So when I tap here, it just shoots right down,
Yeah.
right in the area, and it just like sends relief there. So just depends. Sometimes I'm here.
But Meryl, it's so interesting how to touch, this feels so tense, right? For me,
Ah,
I'm like, I need
no.
more.
Okay.
I used to tap, you know, quite frequently, and then you forget.
Yeah, you do. You
But
do.
yeah,
Yeah, and then the underarm point is the last one. So about 4 inches under your armpit. For women, it's like right where my bra strap is. And if you can't reach around, that's fine. You can, just do it this way. You can do both sides like this, or you can hug yourself, right? And do both sides
that's nice.
that way.
Give yourself a nice little hug.
Nice little hug.
Yeah. But my face feels alive. Like, does that
Ah,
make sense? Like, I was like, oh, it just feels like I was holding so much tension
okay.
without even realizing.
So let's just take a pause for a moment, right? You can place your hands on your heart, take a pause, close your eyes, and just let that integrate in, right? I see you're already noticing there's tingling going on, energy happening, your, skin is waking, you're waking up, right? You're noticing that you're tense in your chest. So how is the clarity now or focus in your mind? Because you said you had lots of thoughts going on. So where are you now and what's shifted? Right. And there's no judgment of what it is, because you still could be, you, meaning you or anyone watching, you still could be, oh, I'm still feeling frazzled. This was only one round. Maybe you need 3. Right. And there's no judgment on anything. It is what it is. And everyone experiences this differently.
Can I just say that it felt really nice just to gift myself that moment? We're doing it live, yes, but just to stop, because I think sometimes when we're in something, we forget. And this is the whole reason why I launched this podcast, is to remind people that they are the investment. And just by doing that small, like we were tapping for no more than 5 minutes, right? But it's just giving myself another practice to say,
Yeah.
okay, this can be in my toolbox as well.
Yeah, well, truthfully, you have to be in a place of ease and flow and relaxation in order to build your business. You can't be in forcing, controlling, anxiety, exhaustion. You can't build from there.
No.
Right? So you have to have the tools in the toolbox that are comfortable to you, that you like, that you'll use on a consistent basis and practice them so that you're always balancing.
I love the emphasis on that you like, because that is so true.
Yeah.
So many people can tell you so many different things to try, but if you don't like it, you won't keep it as a habit or be consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing. That
You're
feels
welcome. I
truly
mean,
amazing.
if you want to do something with words, I'm happy to also do something with words.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right. So I can make it personal to you,
Mm-hmm.
or we can do something that's general for your audience.
Let's do general for the audience, but it's a little bit where I am anyway.
Got it. So I just got a download of where we need to go,
Yes, love
and
that.
I'm just going to go with it. But I'm going to ask you to repeat what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it's call and repeat, and then we'll check in with where you're at. I'm probably going to add in this tightness in your chest because you're already feeling it. So those are the things. So whoever is listening, you want to answer this question on a scale of 0 to 10. What is your fear I'm not doing enough?
Meryl.
Right on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? I am in fear. I am not doing enough. Okay. So if you are over a 7, I want you to do the tapping and breathing that we just did so that you get it down lower to the 7 or below. Then you can add words safely to it, because if not, you'll just probably elevate what's already activated.
Right.
And the whole reason to do this is to balance it out and lower it down. So we're just going to get into some tapping, and you're going to repeat after me.
Yeah.
All right. Now, obviously, this is general words. I'm using my intuition. So whatever doesn't feel right to you, you can just shift it and change it, and we're just kind of go along with it. All right. So this is to say 3 times the setup, statement, and acceptance phrase.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Even though I have all this fear, I'm not doing enough.
Even though I have all of this fear that I'm not doing enough,
I'm just honoring, I feel this way right now.
I'm just honoring that I feel this way right now.
So there you go, is the balancing statement. Okay. 2 more times. Even though I have all this fear, I'm not doing enough in my business.
Even though I have all of this fear that I'm not doing enough in my business,
I'm choosing to find ease and flow anyway.
I'm choosing to find ease and flow anyway.
And if that doesn't resonate, you go back to the other. I'm honoring how I feel. 1 more time. Even though I have all this fear, I'm not doing enough in my business.
Even though I have all of this fear that I'm not doing enough in my business.
And I'm
And,
feeling that's keeping me in lack and scarcity.
and that's keeping me in lack and scarcity.
Yeah. And all these old patterns I don't want anymore.
And all of these old patterns that I don't want anymore.
And I don't really need them.
And I don't really need them.
But my logical mind thinks I do.
But my logical mind thinks I do.
But in my body, I know there's something better.
But in my body, I know there's something better.
Because energetically, I feel.
Because energetically, I feel.
We're in an abundant world.
We are in an abundant world.
And I may not believe that 100% yet.
And I may not believe that 100% yet.
But I'm sure practicing it.
But I'm sure practicing it.
And that's why I still have all this fear.
And that's why I have all of this fear.
Yeah. And I'm just honoring that about myself.
And I'm just honoring that about myself.
And loving myself through this process.
And loving myself through this process.
All right. Top of the head. All this fear.
All this fear.
Inside the eyebrows. All this fear.
All this fear.
Outside the eyes. Fear.
Fear.
Under the eyes. Fear.
Fear.
Under the nose. I have all this fear.
I have all this fear.
And on the chin. Fear.
Fear.
Under the collarbone. Fear, I'm not doing enough.
Fear, I'm not doing enough.
And under the arm. Fear.
Fear.
We're going to go right into a second round, top of the head, and I'm going to add in the chest, right? So whoever's watching, if you're noticing that you have tenseness or gripping or pain or something in your body, add that in here, right? All this fear in my chest.
All this fear in my chest.
Inside the eyebrows. All this tight fear in my chest.
All this tight fear in my chest.
Outside the eyes. All this tense fear in my chest.
All this tense fear in my chest.
Under the eyes. All this tense fear in my chest.
All this tense fear in my chest.
And under the nose. My chest feels tense.
My chest feels tense.
And on the chin. My chest has all this tense fear.
My chest has all of this tense fear.
And under the collarbone. While we're here, since it's the chest for you, add in a deep breath. In through the nose. And out. All this fear.
All this fear.
It's in my chest.
In my chest.
And then under the arm. This fear in my chest.
This fear in my chest.
All right. Relax, pause, close your eyes. Cleansing breath, right? In through the nose and out your mouth. Whenever you're doing energy practices, you should be drinking lots of water and really taking care of yourself. And then you'll check in, right? How does my chest feel? What number fear were you at when we started? I didn't ask you that.
I was at about a 6 and now I'm at a
Okay,
3.
and 3.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 rounds in just a few minutes, and you're 50% better. So I'll just say this just came in to say is that when you're in chronic states of fear or stress or anxiety or whatever the thing is, it produces the negative hormone cortisol. When you have too much of that in your system, you can't have the mental processing that you want, that you need when you're building a business. So you've got to manage your stress and bring it down. And you can lower your cortisol levels in one session up to 24%. Scientific studies say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot.
Yes. And you can do this by yourself. Like this
Absolutely.
is the work that you can do by yourself. And then if you
this basic stuff you can absolutely do by yourself. And, when my clients work with me, they eventually go on their own because they can feel in control and empowered to do this on their own. Plus, they have all of the videos and all of the stuff that we did so that they can go back and rewatch or re-listen or whatever they need. And then obviously, if they need to tweak things, they reach out for more help. In order to get to the root cause of things and really shift, you absolutely have to be working with a professional. And I need it too.
Yes, that's where I was going because I think, like you said, this is great for your toolbox to get you out of that cortisol, stress, procrastinating, feeling overwhelmed state. But then if you've got deeper healing to do, then that's where the optimal tapping comes in, right? So the ancestral,
all of it.
tapping.
I just use whatever I feel, is needed. So say for you, you're at the 3 now, right? So we would continue if your words were still the same, right? If you're still had some tightness or tenseness in your chest and you still were feeling the fear, we would tap it down. And then I would say, so is this familiar to you? Oh, yeah. I remember feeling tense in my chest and fear in XYZ thing that happened in my past. Oh, okay. Well, how do you feel about that now? Well, actually, I still have some intense feelings about it. Oh, okay. Would you like to talk about that? Oh, okay. So then it takes you down the path, right? So we just cleared some emotional clutter out of your system. Then your wisdom has the opportunity to be able to guide us where we need to go next. So I'm just the guide. I just keep redirecting you. Oh, you said that word? Okay, so we need to go over here for a little bit. And oh, you're sad about something now. Oh, I see. Okay, so we need to work on that word if that sad is higher than the fear, right? So we're always just kind of popping over here and there, but always focusing on the goal. Now, I'll say this, very different than traditional therapy is what I do. And what is so unique about this work and what I do is I'm constantly having my clients focus on their goal. And I'm constantly reminding me, so 2 weeks ago when I saw you, or a week ago when I saw you, we were working on this and you were feeling this about it at this number. Where are you at about that now? So we're staying on the goal. That's why they get these fast results. And it's not years and years and years and years of just talking about stuff in therapy and not really getting the results that they want. It kind of quells it in the moment and you get a little Band-Aid in the moment, just like some of what we did today is kind of like in the moment.
Yes.
But in order to get the permanent lasting results, it's got to be consistent work with a professional. And that's what is unique about this, right? Coaching is always the faster way to where you want to go than traditional therapy or reading a book or listening to a podcast. Or I'll just be completely authentic here. For the last few months, I was like, yeah, I can do it all on my own. I got it. I got this, in my business. And I had a dip in my business too. And it's because I was feeling something shifting here, something I'm going through in like a good way, but I couldn't quite figure it out. So you know what? I'm back working with my coach again.
Yes.
And immediately stuff has shifted.
Meryl, say it again for those who are not listening. I find it really fascinating that sometimes when I work with clients, they're like, oh, yeah, I only need you for 3 months. And then you're like, okay. And then you do your check in and you ask them, how is it going? And they say, oh, I haven't moved forward. And I'm like, that's because you still need a little bit of accountability. And it doesn't mean that we have to continue to work together as frequently as we did, but there are other opportunities. But yeah, I love accountability. Like you said, I've had a coach for the last decade or so because you need it.
You need it. You need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think from 2017 until last summer, I always had a coach.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I took a month off here or there just because I was redirecting what kind of a coach, business coach, marketing coach, mindset coach, blah, blah, blah. But I worked with the same coach for 3 years, the same mindset, business, money, manifesting kind of mindset coach. And we happened to be very close friends. So I took, like I said, a little bit of a break and now I'm back in. And there is some truth behind staying in that activated frequency.
Love that.
Of your goal. Yes. And like stuff is already, it's like, oh, this is what I was waiting to see.
Clarity in your business and focus, which is amazing. Before we go, can you just tell me a little bit about the manifestating work that you're doing? Because that's another thing that my ears pricked up. I was like, oh.
So my coach does wealth consciousness from an energy, nervous system regulation perspective.
Love that.
And that's all my work too. Even though I might not focus so much on money and business, I can, and I have. Some clients have come to me who are female entrepreneurs. So yeah, I mean, even on just a small scale, I was in this mindset the last few weeks, even before I signed up with her, that money comes to me easily. And I found on the ground, from a penny to a dime to a quarter to $1 to $20.
I love it.
In like 2 weeks. I just kept seeing it and just kept seeing it and just kept seeing it. Not in my pocket, like on the ground. And then even on another small scale, like I was returning something that was $36. And my friends were going to this concert. And I was like, a while ago, they asked me and I said, I don't really want to go. I don't think it's going to be that great. But I was having a down day on Friday and I said, I think I really should go out. We're going to do dinner. We're going to have drinks. I know I love being with my girls. I know it's going to be fun. I want to go anyway. If I can get a ticket for $36, because this thing I'm returning is $36, I'll go. And I kid you not, it happened to the penny because I had looked at tickets. They were $60 from what I was looking at.
Yeah.
And my friends are like, are you coming with us tonight? And I'm like, I don't want to spend the money on that if it's not going to be really worth it. And she says, well, I see a ticket right here for $25 plus the fees is $36. And I went, wow. So even just that. And as soon as I signed up with my coach, within a week, like a former client of mine called me and she's like, I'm going through a tough time. I need some sessions with you. And I'm like, okay. Unexpected things happen. That's what being in that energy of manifesting. So I'll even say this. I thought for many years that manifesting meant that you're only in a positive attitude and it only happened for people who were positive, who were millionaires or whatever. But I didn't understand that we're really, all of us are always manifesting, which means even when you're not getting what you want, you're manifesting that.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Your energy is manifesting that. That was a major aha moment for me. And it was, okay. Yeah. I am manifesting. Yeah. I'm just not manifesting what I want because I'm not in the energy of it. Yeah. Okay.
So I remember that from the
really learn. Yeah. Right. It's not just the thought of what you want. It's the energy of really believing that it's possible. Right. It's the energy of excitement and gratitude for already having the thing that you want.
Yeah, I remember that from The Secret, that you have to always watch what you're thinking because sometimes it will come true, even if you don't want it. Yeah. Right.
And it's also believing that the best thing will come to you and it might not come in the same package that you're thinking.
Yeah.
You can create a whole list of all these things that you want, but when you put the feeling and the energy to it, a better thing will actually come your way.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the secret was more about the thought and not really so much putting the energy into it. And I know my coach worked with Bob Proctor, who has unfortunately passed away, but he had some programs like thinking into results and
Yes.
stuff like that. So that's more along the lines of the work that I do, the study, I'll say, that I do.
Brilliant.
So,
Thank you so much, Meryl. Can you tell the listeners how they can work with you?
yes, absolutely. So everything is under my name if you want to follow me, from TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, even my website, all under Meryl Hayton. I have one-to-one programs where I work with my clients for longer periods of time in order to bring them transformation. And I'm happy to do consultations, free consultations, in order to make sure that we're a match,
Mm-hmm.
as well as being able to figure out where you're at and where you want to be so that I can tell you what the best program is, right, for you. I do have a free Facebook group, Empowering Community for Women, and I offer monthly free trainings and reels and inspirational content and all that. I also do a monthly mindset mastery class. When you sign up for my website, you do get a 7-day tapping into worthiness freebie. And I'm always, like, I just sent out another freebie that's a self-love boost meditation.
Love
So
it.
if you're in my world and you see that, all you need to do is drop your email and I'm happy to send it to you. And I have a special coming out, actually today it came out, for ancestral healing sessions. So if you're interested in that, I don't typically do one-off sessions, but periodically I'll do a little special offer. So this is a limited time only special offer
Yes.
for ancestral healing sessions. So that I love doing because it is healing the stress and the trauma and the fear and the doubt and the unworthiness in your parents and in their parents and in so forth. It changes the DNA in you and your family going forward. So
Yeah.
it's incredibly powerful work, and I love doing it and guiding my clients through it. So I said, why not throw something out there? And I
No,
have
that's amazing.
blogs on my website and everything. So there's lots of stuff out there for you to get to know who I am, learn tapping, and then see if you'd like to work together.
Thank you so much. And thank you for my little one-on-one, well, one to all tapping session. That was amazing. And listeners, go out there and find Meryl's work. What we got an example of was just a tip of the iceberg. So go and find her on her website and all of her socials. And be sure to report back. If there's any questions that you have from this episode, let us know. Thank you so much, Meryl, again. And thank you, listeners, for listening. Take care for now. Bye.